I'm learning how to build my own game using the Unity engine. And in this video, I want my character to be able to pick items up off the ground and collect enough of them in order to complete an objective, such as leaving this room that they are stuck in. So first what I'm going to do is create two scripts. The first script is going to be player currency. It's going to say this is how much the player actually has in gold. The next script is going to be the gold pickup script. This script is going to be used on the actual gold prefab. The prefab is just a model of the gold that you'll see getting placed down in a second. And I'm going to attach this to the gold prefab. I'm going to create the spear collider that you just saw there, so that way it's going to react whenever the player gets close enough. So once the player touches the gold, it's actually going to perform the script where it picks up the gold, collecting that item and making the item disappear, making the gold inventory go up by 1 for the player, and the prefab disappearing. Here, you can see they're bobbing around, they're moving like crazy, but as I collect them, they disappear, and the gold goes up by 1 each time in the top left. I do get rid of the bob because I don't like them going up and down so much, and the spinning is only because it's sped up so much. But it's looking good, and that's the way I wanted it to be. Next, we're going to be doing an objective. The objective on this one is going to be pretty simple: collect 10 gold pieces. The point of the objective is going to be to open the dungeon door so that the player can leave the room. I haven't added the door just yet, but we'll get to that in just a second. I now want to create the objective of collect 10 pieces so that you can exit the dungeon room. The dungeon room right now is just one standard room. So I'm going to be adding a gate here at the doorway, a gate that you can't just walk up and open. You have to collect 10 gold before it will open. So with a little bit of persuasion, nice words, and some treats, I'm able to get that looking like somewhat of a gate. At this point, I'm going to take the floor, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to move it to the other side of the wall so it looks like a continuation of that room, so they're not just, the player's not walking onto gray nothingness. Now I need to create an exit zone. This is going to tell the code that the player has exited the dungeon or that room they've quote unquote left. And at the same time, creating that box collider so that it triggers that message. When the player reaches 10 gold, their objective text will change. That says, it's not going to say collect 10 gold, now it's going to say exit unlocked. And then once they leave and they hit that box collider, then it'll say dungeon complete. So they collect 10 gold, exit unlocked, and then dungeon complete, so they're able to leave. At this point, I wanted to make some slight changes because I'm slowly working up the UI on this. So I wanted to create a health bar for our player. The health bar is going to be very simple. It's just going to be 3 hearts that show 3 hit points. And so next we need to create 2 scripts. One script for the player health, so that way when the player does take damage, the health goes down. And when they regain health, the health goes up. At the same time, in order to really test the player health, I want to create another script called damage hazard. So basically, if the character walks over this hazard or into this hazard area, they will start taking damage. And so in order for me to test this, I'm going to be placing these spikes onto the ground and then assigning them the damage hazard script. So that way when the player enters a certain area, they are going to be damaged and they're going to lose health. After adjusting the size of the box collider so that way you have to touch the actual spikes before you get hurt, as you can see here, everything is working the way it should. After they reach 3 hits and they are quote unquote defeated, like you see in the top left, then the game stops and it restarts. So from here, now we need to have the player, once they reach 0 health, enter into a death animation. They need to enter into a death state. Now we need to create that animation event and tie that to the character, and also fix the player health script so that way once the player reaches 0 health, it enacts that state. It animates the player falling over, saying that they have died. I'm going to speed this up a lot because I got stuck in this loop where he was just on the ground moving instead of walking around. But eventually I do figure it out, and we are back to the character standing up the way he should, and he's able to walk around. Everything looks good. The player is now taking damage, and as you can see, he's going into the death state once he reaches 0 health. So he hits the spikes, he stays in the spikes, he continues getting hurt, he falls over, and that's that. Stay tuned for the next video where we're going to create an enemy that our player can attack and fight. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any tips or tricks, please drop them in the comments. Have a great day.